Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I've noticed a shocking pattern when it comes to Gervonta Davis of Baltimore. That can be described in 2 words. Fake news. Gervonta Davis, when it comes to what's going on, I'm going to explain in this video, Ego Thoughts. I told you guys on the channel, I'm going back to the basics. Ego Thoughts, where sometimes it's a rant, sometimes it's just something I was thinking about, but you're going to get a lot more of that on the channel, which is what I did when I was on my way up. So we going back to the basics. And I had to get this off my chest. This one is going to be more of a rant. Gervonta Davis, the fake news continues. I don't understand. I mean, I do and I don't. I don't understand as a content creator myself, the necessity for it, because I don't move like that. But I understand that some people are selfish. Some people probably don't even care about boxing. So as a result, they're just trying to get something in for themselves or get viewership or whatever the case is. So as a result, it's going to be a lot of clickbait, a lot of fake news. But with Gervonta Davis, what I've noticed particularly with him is the fact that he seems to get it a lot. And ironically, not only does he get it a lot, where people are just making up news stories about him, but he gets it to the point where you'll usually see a lot of the people who are doing it. If you listen to their content, if you watch their YouTubes, if you watch their TikToks, if you look at their Instagram, if you look at their posts on Twitter, and so on and so forth, what you will notice is a lot of these guys don't even seem to like Gervonta Davis, but they'll be the first to report or talk about Gervonta news. And for me, Gervonta Davis literally was just at the Paris Olympics. He looked like he was going to support Team USA. He has GTD promotions. Maybe he was scouting some people, or maybe he has personal relationships with some of the young fighters. He's definitely a role model. The guys looking up, they can look at what Tank has accomplished, where he comes from, and look at that as a source of inspiration. So he literally just got back from that and was doing that. And at the same time, days later, a week later, the Olympics just ended, right? You have people who are making like a ton of content about Gervonta Davis's next move. And I'm getting to the point where I'm blaming the fans. Content creators and people will continue to do what the fans allow them to do. So if you're sitting up here supporting and giving your attention to certain things that are disruptive to the sport of boxing, and you're giving it your time, your energy, your comments, then I'm blaming the fans, because that's the only way you can deal with the leeches in boxing is to turn your back on them. And that's just what it is. And I just find it a strange phenomenon. Again, many of the people who hate on Tank are the ones who are constantly talking about Tank, even when it has nothing to do with Tank, right? On my channel, I try to make the content relevant to actual current events. Gervonta's team just did a brand new interview with Rise Podcast and Cigar Talk. They didn't say anything about Tank's next move. They didn't say anything about Tank's next fight. So you, as the fans, you be the judge, because I'm seeing this influx of who Gervonta Davis is gonna fight, who he's not gonna fight. And I'm very confident that when it is finally ready for the public, then and only then it'll be announced from Gervonta or his team or his promoter what his next move is. So if you didn't hear from Boxing Ego, you didn't hear from Gervonta Davis himself, then I really wouldn't trust it, because this has been going on far too long. For the last several years, basically since Tank became the face of boxing, people are name dropping for clickbait. It's like desperate rappers. Like when you're a quality rapper, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Jay-Z, when you're a quality rapper, you usually don't have to do much to get people to listen to your songs. They like you, you're lyrically dope, you're an amazing songwriter, you're dope with melodies, etc., etc. But I've noticed that doesn't seem to be the case. Boxing, a lot of content creators in boxing lack true diversity and true character, for real, integrity, and also true creativity. So as a result, it's just sensationalized fake news and clickbait. Again, I know some people on Gervonta's team in or around his circle. I am not going to reveal who. You guys can believe what I'm saying, or you can continue wasting your time with all the fake news. This, again, has been going on in Tank's career for years at this point. I remember people were saying, oh, Tank's going to fight Abner Mares. Abner Mares is next for Tank. Tank was scheduled to fight Abner Mares years ago. So I'm not talking about that. Abner Mares, he had a detached retina and he was out the sport for a while. He then became a commentator on Showtime, and now he's a commentator on Amazon Prime, right? So when these new rumors had resurfaced that Tank was going to fight Abner Mares, of course, they absolutely weren't true. Now, this is the problem in modern boxing. This is exactly the problem. You have all of these content creators, we'll say, who are making rushed content and just trying to hurry up and get news out. They don't care if they're reliable. They don't care about integrity. They don't care if it's accurate. They don't care if it's misinformation that confuses the crowd. They don't care about these things, right? And the problem I have for that is the boxing fans. How long would you, as a fan, allow someone to play you for a fool, right? I've been in the game for years, and I show people how to get this paper, how to get this money, and to have longevity. There's not many people doing this at this level that have been around longer than me, right? And I'm talking about they can bless the mic, not just go to the fights and, do weigh-ins and interview fighters. I'm talking about people come to hear my opinion. So I'm the golden child. I've showed people I'm the prodigal son, Boxing Ego, the best in the business, and it's not even close. So I've showed people how to get this money, and you don't really have to lie. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. Gervonta Davis, when his next fight is done, he'll announce his next fight. And it's so shocking that boxing fans, some of them could be such losers or have so much time in their day that they just put up with anything. It definitely couldn't be me. I can't have somebody sit up here and lie to me, and then people have the nerve. They didn't get the information from Boxing Ego, and they didn't have the nerve to come to Boxing Ego and say, hey, is this true? If you didn't hear it from me, do not ask if it's true. Period. If you did not hear, if I didn't make a video about it, that my content, if it's true, happens in the form of if I make a video or not. If I choose not to make a video, then, and it's a popping subject, because y'all know I don't duck or dodge no subjects or subject matters in the sport of boxing. So if it's relevant and popping news, Boxing Ego, aka your boy Ego, will talk about it. It's kind of like the Joe Budden podcast. You think something like Kendrick and Drake is gonna happen that's real, that there's albums out, Euphoria and diss tracks, Family Matters and Not Like Us, and you think the Budden podcast is not gonna talk about it when they cover pop culture and also started out covering hip hop? I mean, it's just common sense. But now if there was like some fake album that was AI, they probably wouldn't cover that because it's not real. And this is what's happening precisely in boxing. People saying Tank is fighting, over the last year, Abdon Mares. People saying that Tank is fighting Campbell Hatton. They said he's fighting El Rayo. They said he's fighting the top ranked dude that beat Navarrete. Some people say he's fighting Shakur Stevenson. So Dennis Berenchuk, Shakur Stevenson, Edwin De Los Santos. It's just all lies. And again, you as fans got to be smart enough to determine what's a lie and who's lying to you. If you cannot do that, this channel, Boxing Ego, is probably not the right channel for you, because I see it. I could look at a title on YouTube and determine if it's cap or not. So if you guys can't, then that's on you. You need to spend more time on my channel and or study the game a bit more. Tank has not said ish about what his next fight is. There's a lot of people speculating a date. What happens is November, I think it was November 2nd. And then there's a lot of people saying, oh, that's Tank's fight. He's coming back. Listen, the way this works, Amazon Prime, PBC, Premier Boxing Champs, they work on their schedule. So per their schedule, or what they think the skeleton is of their schedule, then what they do is select certain dates that are available where there's no J-Lo concert in Vegas, there's no Michael Jackson experience in Vegas, and they book these venues for where they think they want to have a fight. But here's the thing, it doesn't always come true. Remember Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? They had certain dates booked for Vegas just in the event, but then initially Terrence Crawford went a different direction to fight on BBL Prime and fight David Avocado. So some of these holds end up being released or given to other fight cards because the fight doesn't materialize. So we don't know much of anything about Gervonta's next move. He's the face of boxing. Him and Canelo are clearly the biggest stars, and it's not even close. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. So just wait, be patient. I will update you as soon as there's more information. All this goofy speculation is just further watering down the game of boxing, and I'm not really here for it.